Hey, baby, how about a little tongue action, huh?
Yeah, stick your tongue down his throat.
What are we gonna do? Should we just move?
It won't be necessary.
Shut your trap and stop kicking the seats! We're trying to watch the movie! And if I have to tell you again, we're gonna take it outside and I'm gonna show you what it's like! You understand me?
Now shut your mouths or I'll shut them for you. And if you think I'm kidding, just try me. Try me. Because I would love it!
In light of my recent experience at a screening of Star Wars The Force Awakens, it seems that we are all in desperate need of a refresher course when it comes to what constitutes appropriate behavior at the movies. So now I'd like to present to you the Robotic Movie Project's Guide to Movie Etiquette 101. Let's get started. It's common practice to pre-purchase your movie tickets these days. However, some of us still like to pay cash for our movie tickets. Here's some recommendations on how to make the whole process just a little bit easier on all of us. 1. Get there early. I usually like to get to the cinema about 15 to 20 minutes before a movie starts. That way I have plenty of lead time. So even if buying tickets does take a little longer than usual, I usually won't miss anything because every movie has about 15 to 20 minutes of trailers before it. 2. Be ready to pay. When the clerk punches up your ticket, try to have your payment method ready to go. That way you're not fumbling excessively for your debit card or cash. 3. Know where you want to sit. I'm not a huge fan of reserved seating at the movies. However, you should at least have an idea of where you'd like to sit. I prefer to sit towards the back, that way I can see the whole screen. And if someone is in your seat, then politely remind them of that. And if you're in someone's seat, then please just move. We all have to choose our battles in life, and picking a movie seat shouldn't be one of them. Number 4, have a backup plan. If your movie is sold out, then have a plan to either see something else or to see a showing at a later time. Trying to decide what to see instead will just frustrate the people behind you. If all of these things have worked out for you, then please pay, receive your ticket, and proceed to the theater. We all know movie snacks can be expensive, but if you must have them, then we can adapt steps 1 and 2 from the previous section to snack purchasing. Step 1. Know what snacks you want. Theaters pretty much have all the same selection these days, so this cuts down somewhat on the selection process. Step 2, have your payment method ready to go. Now, we understand that movie snacks can be expensive, and many choose not to pay those theater prices. As a result, many patrons have resorted to smuggling in snacks of their own. It's not a practice we condone at the Robotic Movie Project, but if you must go that route, then please stick to these basic rules. Please do not choose snacks that are excessively crunchy. Fritos, Doritos, pistachio nuts, anything that makes excessive noise while eating it. Your fellow moviegoers will thank you later. And under no circumstances should you bring alcohol into a movie theater. The last thing anybody wants is a drunken confrontation with another patron. We understand that some theaters now sell beer, but it is often limited to 1 per person. Nobody wants to be in a theater and have a bar fight break out. So now you've bought your tickets and your snacks. Now it's time to go into the theater and take your seat. The lights go down. Suddenly your cell phone rings. What do? Do you A, answer it as quietly as possible, B, pull it out to see who is calling and then send them a text message, or C, get up to take the call outside? The correct answer is actually D, why is your cell phone ringing in the first place? Cell phones have been with us for almost 25 years. Why is this still an issue? With all the reminders about how you should turn your cell phone off before the movie starts, this shouldn't be an issue anymore. And to you millennials out there, we don't need you texting every 5 minutes. OMG, this scene is super scary. You may think that only you can see the light from your screen, but to everyone else in a darkened theater, it looks like the bat signal. If it's an emergency, then by all means, please take the call outside. And with the price of movies these days, you should be paying attention every single minute, every single second, not staring at your screen texting. So please, turn off your phone, or at the very least, put it on vibrate. Your friends can wait an hour or 2 before you text them back. So you and the wife want to go see the latest and greatest blockbuster, but there's a problem. There's nobody to watch Junior. As many of you already know, at a 10 p.m. screening of Star Wars The Force Awakens on opening weekend, a young couple had decided to bring their child, who I estimate was around age 3, and he proceeded to be a distraction for everyone in my section, running up and down the aisles and climbing on top of seats. When his parents would tell him to sit down and be quiet, he would exclaim "no, no" in his tiny little voice. The final time his parents told him to sit down and be quiet, he decided it was time to cry and protest during the most climactic scene of the film. Now, I have to preface these remarks by saying, I know this is going to piss a lot of people off, and I am not one to tell anybody how to raise their children. But here's the thing. As a parent, you have to make certain sacrifices, and a night out at the movies is one of them. Now, I fully expect young children to be at a Disney film or something like The Smurfs or Alvin and the Chipmunks. However, back in 2005, I remember seeing young children in strollers at a late showing of Casino Royale. The theater is a shared space, and unfortunately, young children can and often are a distraction. Here's a basic rule of thumb. If your child is too young to be in first grade or kindergarten, then they're probably too young to be at the movies. Kindergarten and first grade is when children start to learn how to pay attention and learn how to be quiet for long stretches. So around that age might be the ideal time to start taking them to the movies. I know some parents will say, well, I can't leave them home alone, what am I supposed to do? Then you do what my parents did and what countless other parents have done through the ages, and that's get a babysitter. If you can't afford a babysitter or don't have anyone you can trust to watch the kids for a few hours, then I'm sorry, then you should probably stay home. With such a fast turnaround rate on movies, you won't have to wait very long to see them on streaming or on home video. This rule also applies to adults as well. This is not your own personal episode of Mystery Science Theater 3000. Nobody wants to hear a running commentary. Also, it's not the Rocky Horror Picture Show where you have to shout things back at the screen. I can't say this enough, but the movie theater is a shared space. You are not the only one who paid their $12.50 to see the movie. There's only 2 guys I'd expect to hear a running commentary from, and unless you're one of them, then please shut the f*** up. This isn't your living room. Remember that. Upon leaving the theater, I'd also like to remind everyone to please refrain from discussing the film, especially spoilers. Unless you're going to a late night showing, chances are there's going to be people in the lobby who are going to be waiting to see the same film that you just did. So please be courteous and refrain from discussing any potential spoilers. And don't be a jerk and post them in online comment sections either. Most of these rules come down to common sense. So please, remember to be courteous to your fellow moviegoers. If we all remember we're here for the same reason, we'll all have a better time. See you next time.
Just when you think this show is terrible, something wonderful happens.
What?
It ends.
Thanks for watching, and if you like this video, please subscribe. Also, don't forget to check out my friends over at Midnight's Edge. You can find a link to their channel in the description. Thanks a lot, and see you next time.